that just gets stuck in your head. That's a really good hook. Hello, welcome back to The Real iBlack 16. Today I'll be reviewing 21 Pilots' Trench, which came out about a week ago. I was going to do this last week, but it was right on top of my Lauren Daigle Look Up Child review, which got 4 stars out of 5. I'm going to be doubling that number, so that album gets an 8, which I consider a quality album. And I actually mean it's a quality album. When I say 8 stars, that means quality, by quotes. So yeah, I'll be doing the 10-star spectrum for reviews, and I'll be doing it to the decimal, i.e. 9.3, 1.5 if the album is total and utter garbage. But let's get into it. So with Trench, this is 21 Pilots' 5th album. 3 years since their last release. It was Blurry Face back in 2015. With me, an album like Blurry Face was a lot like their previous records. They had some really, really good songs kind of mixed in between the tracks, but then they had some tracks that just, I didn't feel like that fit the mold very well. I've always loved what they were trying to do, you know. They kind of had that Foster the People kind of thing going for themselves, blending all these different genres into one little package. And it was cool, you know. Their execution was not the same as their theory, and I think that is why I was a little turned off by their whole albums. I loved 21 Pilots' regular single tracks, but when I listened to their records, it didn't resonate well with me. And I feel like that turned around with Trench. I was on the edge of my seat when I was listening to it because I was like, oh my goodness, is this going to be a good record? And when I listened to it, I think I was pleasantly surprised. I really think that this is probably their best record to date, so we'll kind of go into that. Now with Trench, each track is more unified. The production is really smooth. There's more emphasis on the warmer part of the spectrum. There's more emphasis on the low end than there is the high end, like, you know, with any other 21 Pilots record. But there's a really good balance of dynamics in this record. I love the elements of smooth jazz and the drum and bass. I think that Josh did an excellent job drumming. As far as I'm concerned, Josh has kind of always been the star of the show. Yeah, Tyler is everyone's favorite, but Josh does a fantastic job on the drums. He is an excellent drummer, and I think Trench is the best showcase of Josh's drum work. That alone really put this record in a higher spot for me. Even though 21 Pilots have been really well known for their drum and bass element, I think there's more of a relationship between the bass and the drums in this than in previous records, which also really sticks out to me, so I am biased toward that element, for sure. Hands down, without a doubt. I mean, it's right there. Trench has a really good kickstart with Jumpsuit. In the beginning, it goes a little something like this. And it's a bass line that I love. When you listen to the track, it kickstarts you with those drums, and it also kind of sounds like Death from Above, but probably more Royal Blood, especially with their heavy emphasis on heavier bass rather than the punk elements of Death from Above. But even Death from Above have changed a lot. I also do believe that Jumpsuit is a throwback to their harder rock roots, because that is what 21 Pilots were doing before they became this drum and bassy kind of rap and R&B hip-hop band, the one that you know today. That's happened with a lot of bands. They tend to change when they become more mainstream or when they adhere to a certain label. And then with the second track, Levitate, really big drum and bass elements. And then Morph has subtle hints of smooth jazz, sort of loungy, really relaxed. And then with a track like Chlorine, I think, which is one of my favorite tracks on this record, I really love Tyler's sipping on straight chlorine. That just gets stuck in your head. That's a really good hook. And then with the next couple of tracks, there's a lot of stop and go, a lot of reggae-style dub. And when I say dub, I mean like the reggae dub right back from like the 60s and 70s. If you've listened to any Rocksteady or any of the ska stuff with bands like Lee Scratch Perry and the Upsetters, that's dub. Some moth in here. He's having fun. I don't know what he's doing, but, you know, probably gonna eat my clothes. Anything but my Green Day shirt. The hype. It really sounded like the Verve at the beginning with Bittersweet Symphony. And then it reminds me of OK Go and Passion Pit. It reminds me of fun. And then with my favorite track on the record, Nico and the Niners. My favorite part of the record, Dakota. Dude, that drum and bass, man, like, it works magic on you. It's really good. Paul Meany and Tyler Joseph produced this album. They did an excellent job. I really do like this album a lot. it sounds excellent. Kind of another little detail, Josh's drumming style, he really hits those polyrhythms and those ghost notes. I really do think that Josh's drumming style really pushed this record forward in terms of innovation. It's really good. And it's cool to hear Josh and Tyler, they like to play with polyrhythms a lot, much like bands like the Police like to do. That's what colors this album. It makes it a lot more vibrant. It's still a really dark record. It sounds a little bit more humble and more low-key, so to speak. But it's still ambitious, too, which is what I really liked about the sound. There's something more developed and more mature about this album than previous albums. I think this is their best one yet. This is better than Blurry Face, better than Vessels, better than anything as a unit that they've ever produced. And I look forward to hearing what they have in the future. They're going places. I mean, they've been going places this whole decade. They're one of the biggest bands of the 2010s, but really like this record. So for me, I would give this album probably an 8.3 out of 10. It's a quality record, and it might seem kind of like a low rating. It's not a perfect album, but it's a really good album. It's really mature, and they did a great job with it. You should check it out. Okay, guys, you guys take care. You guys have a great day. I'm going to head out, like, share, subscribe, comment, all of those good things. And I will see you next week, hopefully either with another review or another song. I'll do a cover, I'll do an original, we'll figure it out. So you guys have a great day. I have no witty comments.